from Patriots camp, in the official press conference, Floyd Mayweather announced his final fight on September 12th, and he declared that Andre Berto is a very worthy opponent while taking a shot at Manny Pacquiao. Can Skip get some water? Take a listen.
Tough competitor. He's been knocked down, but he jump up off the canvas and continue to fight. And every time he go out, he gives 100%, and that's what we want.
Why do you want that?
We want a guy that's going to push me and bring the best out of me. As we can see, Manny Pacquiao wasn't able to bring the best out of me. So I believe Berto is the guy for the job.
Stephen A., you know Floyd. You spent a lot of time with him. Do you agree with that?
No, I do not. But I want to say this. A lot of people going to get on Floyd for a couple of things. First of all, I know Andre Berto.
Okay.
I've known Andre Berto for some time. I have not been impressed with his record over his last 6 fights, which were 3-3. He started out 27-0. He was absolutely fantastic. I think he's a warrior, but the problem is when you're a warrior, ultimately you get hit a bit too much. I think a couple of people he has fought, they've hit him too much. And because of that, now, I don't want to call him punch drunk. He still has speed, he still has power, but I don't think he's any match for Floyd Money Mayweather, and Floyd knows that. If Floyd thinks most people weren't a match for him, why the hell is he going to think Andre Berto is a match for him? I think this is one of those situations where Floyd is, to be quite honest with you, I think he's looking out for one of the brothers and sitting there and giving him an opportunity to make some good money, because Lord knows nobody else in boxing is doing that for a lot of guys. And I think that that's what's behind this to some degree. And I also believe no matter what they say, that he's going to come out and out of retirement, and he will fight again for fight number 50 after he wins this next fight. Even though, again, it's boxing. Anybody could get caught. And Andre Berto is capable of catching somebody and hurting them. I don't think it will happen because I don't think he's in Floyd's class. But in the sport of boxing, never close your eyes to that possibility. Having said all of that, the main reason we're discussing this is because Floyd went on record, Skip, and said that the media is to blame for the Manny Pacquiao hype. I am here to tell you he's absolutely correct. The media is responsible for the hype, me primarily included, as well as you. And I'm going to tell you why. Manny Pacquiao is great. Manny Pacquiao has speed. Manny Pacquiao has power. I may tease him about the fact that he got put to sleep by Juan Manuel Marquez, but that's only after I knew he was all right, because I certainly wasn't laughing when I saw him get dropped like that, because Manny Pacquiao is an incredibly nice guy and a good man. I just wished him the best. I didn't want him hurt. But he got put to sleep by Juan Manuel Marquez. Caught him with that straight right coming in. Put him to sleep. Manny Pacquiao, outside of that, has been nothing short of sensational and clearly number 2 on the list as the pound-for-pound greatest in the world for years and years and years. We know he's got speed. We know he's got power in both hands. We knew that he wanted Floyd. And our attitude was, well, we know what Floyd's going to do and we know what he can do. He's a boxer extraordinaire. He's a defensive magician in the ring. He doesn't take too many risks, etc. But Pacquiao was supposed to be the dude that was going to quell all of that. He was faster than Cotto. He was faster than Canelo Alvarez. He was smaller and considerably more elusive in a lot of people's eyes. So he was supposed to cause Floyd all of this problem. And on top of it all, because Floyd took his time about taking a fight, the Skip Baylesses of the world, Molly, was sitting up there calling him chicken flies, mocking him and disrespecting him and all this other stuff.
There's only one me, so go ahead.
That's right.
There aren't plural.
So all right.
Just for the record.
There we go. I like that. I like that. I agree. This man, Skip Bayless, was doing all of that. So you were so disrespectful to Floyd Money Mayweather. You contributed to the swell of momentum aimed in his direction, where people were trying to say he was scared. People was trying to say he was running from Manny Pacquiao. People were trying to say what was going to happen to him once he got in the ring with Pacquiao. And so the hype evolved not around Floyd, but around what Manny Pacquiao was supposed to do to him.
No, it's my fault.
No. I said it's mine too. It evolved around what Manny Pacquiao was supposed to do to him. Me, being the boxing, not the boxing aficionado, the likes of the Jim Lampleys of the world with my boy Max Kellerman and them, but on a lesser level, the boxing aficionado that I am, I knew what Floyd was going to do to him. I knew that Floyd was going to sit there and make him miss. I knew that Floyd was probably going to hurt his shoulder because he was going to miss about 400 times. I saw all of that coming. So I was sitting there saying what Floyd was going to do. Skip was swearing what Manny Pacquiao was going to do. Everybody in the media was jumping on that bandwagon, whether it was on my side or his side. So we did, as an institution, contribute to the hype because we thought Manny Pacquiao was going to put up a better display. That's what it was, because we always knew what fight Floyd was going to fight, but it was hyped because of what we thought Manny Pacquiao was going to do, and then he didn't end up doing it. So Floyd is basically saying, that's your fault. I told y'all I was going to go in the ring and give him a boxing lesson. Y'all believed all this hype that he was going to come and knock me out. Shame on y'all. And that's a good point on Floyd's part. It's a good point.
This man across from me is unbelievable. First of all, now that you have dismissed Berto as a charity fight, I got to leave that alone for now.
Not charity.
Well, that's where you're going. You know, he's doing something for his brother. I get it. Okay, all right. Now let's get back to.
I really think that's what he's doing.
Let's get back to overhyping here. Talk about a slickster. This man across from me has omitted.
I said. He's a New Yorker. He's from Queens.
The key detail of this entire discussion. Look, I will give you this. The media did overhype Manny Pacquiao because of what the media did not know going into the fight, which was that Manny had not sparred for the month leading up to the fight, and that he asked for an injection, a pain-killing injection, on the night of the fight because he had a torn labrum in his shoulder that would immediately require surgery. You omitted that key detail. So how can you say that the media was overhyping the ring record of Manny Pacquiao? Do I have to remind you? Did we overhype what he did to De La Hoya, even though you say De La Hoya was shot? And he had
absolutely.
But listen, he was just a flat-out dead man because that was a rout that night, and that was a boxing display that Pacquiao put on.
Weight, 145.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What happened to Ricky Hatton at the hands of Pacquiao?
Destroyed.
All right.
Destroyed.
How about Miguel Cotto, a man that you have great respect for?
I do.
That was TKO in 12, and Cotto raved about Manny's power plus his speed, that he'd never encountered that much power plus speed in the ring. And then we start going to Clottey and Margarito, and remember Sugar Shane Mosley raved about Manny Pacquiao after that fight, after he got his butt beat. And then listen, Timothy Bradley, he lost twice. I don't care what you say. He lost twice, and he is a stud game fighter to me.
And we agree there.
He's the one. This is the man. You want to talk about you're in for a long night. You're going to be in for, and Floyd would have been in for a long night if he'd taken Bradley in this fight instead of Berto.
Bradley doesn't have power, but he can box, he can fight, and he can take a punch.
He can take a
I got a lot of respect for Timothy
Bradley. And that first fight was the all-time robbery I have ever witnessed when they somehow gave it to Bradley over Pacquiao. But then, look, Juan Manuel Marquez, that was the fourth fight we're talking about. I have to remind you that Manny had beaten, they even called the first fight a draw, I have no idea. Yes. That was another robbery. But he had beaten him 2 previous times in fights 2 and 3. And then he was just bored. I got to fight this guy a 4th time because Floyd was a chicken. Floyd was running and running and running from Manny Pacquiao. So and he finally got shamed into having to do it for the sake of his legacy, because you even admitted you cannot retire with that big glaring asterisk on your record.
Absolutely.
Ran from Manny Pacquiao. So what, thank you God, Pacquiao tears his labrum before the fight. Okay, I want to see a real fight. I want to see a second fight.
You say before the fight. I say he probably tore it during the fight. All those misses,
probably
swings.
So that's why he didn't spar for the whole month.
If I swing and miss 400 times, I'd hurt my labrum too.
All right, that's fine. But now Floyd is sitting back, taking pot shots at Manny Pacquiao, saying, "Oh, he didn't push me to be my best." Yeah, Floyd, because you fought a one-arm fighter. Are you proud of that? Because I wouldn't be. I'd be ashamed of it. And if Floyd Mayweather Jr. does not rematch with Manny Pacquiao in fight number 50, he's going to be shamed again. He'll certainly be shamed from this position.
I disagree. Let me tell you this. I believe that, and again, I'm on the record. Floyd cannot end his career fighting Andre Berto. That can't be your last fight on the books.
And you know what? I don't believe he will.
And I don't believe he will either. I think this, and I have no problem with him fighting Berto because it's a tune-up. If it's not a tune-up, that's an entirely different matter. But as long as he fights after Berto, I'm not going to have any problem with this being a potential tune-up. It does not have to be Manny Pacquiao. I would prefer that it's Manny Pacquiao, but Manny Pacquiao needs to come and apologize to Floyd for sitting there and using that as a weak excuse. You ain't got no business. You showed up in the ring.
You need surgery the next day, and it's not an excuse?
Please.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not sure the surgery was the next day. I know that's what Bob Arum and probably Freddie Roach is saying, but I don't know that. Let me tell you something right now. I got no problems. And nobody, let me tell you something, you know anything about boxing, you're not going to have a problem with Mayweather fighting Canelo Alvarez or Cotto next instead of Manny Pacquiao. I got news for you. That's a mega fight. If he fights one of those two, stay the hell away from Triple G, Gennady Golovkin. Don't fight that boy. He's too big for you. Stay the hell away from him. But you're talking about Canelo or Miguel Cotto, absolutely, that would be a mega fight. And if you want to go to Macau and fight Manny Pacquiao, make sure you have folks that go to the doctor's office. Make sure that we see it on camera, the medical exams. We want to see the x-rays.
We will.
We want to make sure there's nothing torn, there's nothing sprained or strained.
I'll hold them up.
That's right. That's right. All right, we can do that.
Just to be clear.
50-1.
Please.
Just to be clear, September 12th, I shouldn't be booking travel?
September 12th.
No.
Berto, Mayweather. You're not going
I mean, I might be there, but I don't blame everybody for not looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Not after the Pacquiao thing. It should be somebody better, but this is a tune-up.
It's a charity fight. I'll donate.
Yeah.
Not charity. It's a tune-up. It's a tune-up.
You can have my 75, Andre Berto.
We know Mayweather's the undisputed champ. We have another champion in the house. Actually, we're not in the house. We're outside here at the desk. It's Troy Brown, a 3-time Super Bowl champion. Come on over. He did it on both sides of the ball. Patriots Hall of Famer. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. We got a lot to talk to you about.
Good to see you. Good to see you, man.
Thank you.
First Take is brought to you by the new DQ Rolo Minis Blizzard Treat. It's summer in a cup. And by the Beauty Rest Recharge Line. Get your beauty rest.
Devin McCourty won't be able to join us, but our next guest is a 10-year NFL vet. He led the Patriots last season with 8 sacks, but more importantly, he's now a Super Bowl champ. Defensive end Rob Ninkovich, thank you so much for joining us.
That sounds nice. I like that.
I figured you'd say that. I figured you'd say that.
There's a good ring to it.
A lot of hard work going into that one. So, again, I'm excited to add that to the resume.
What's your chances of repeating? Wolford's gone, Revis is gone, Brown is gone. What's your chances?
Starts right now in training camp. Again, this is where you put in all the hard work. This is where it starts. When you put in those long days of training camp, put the pads back on. It feels good to be back out here with my teammates, and I'm excited.
What's the mindset of the team right now with this whole Deflategate suspension hanging over the
really
issue?
Just focus on what you can do. To be a better football player. For me, every day coming in, doing the best that I can to be a better football player. Even at year 10, I'm still learning, still trying to progress as a defensive end. And, again, for me, it's exciting that, all that stuff happened last year, but it's over with. And you really have to, close that book. That's over with, start a new book, and, it starts in training camp.
All this Deflategate stuff, how much of a motivational factor do you think that's going to be for the team this season?
Again, there's always motivating factors, for teams, and for my personal goals. I'm always motivated. Every year I'm motivated to go out there and play to the best of my abilities, and continue to carry on that Patriot tradition, which is playing good football and being a winning team.
What do you see from Tom Brady right now out here on this practice field? Any different? Is he more gunned up than usual, or he's just same old Tom?
Tommy's always gunned up. I mean, Tom is a tremendous competitor. No matter what he's doing, he's competing. He's trying to be the best at what he does. So, every day he comes out here and, he holds everyone to a high standard. And, that's what it's supposed to be like, holding everyone accountable.
Troy Brown was just on our desk, and he described him as pissed. Is that fair to say?
Again, like I said, Tommy is a tremendous competitor, and he's always competing, and he's always trying to be the best at what he does.
How much will you indeed miss a Rivas and a Browner?
You know, again, every year there's going to be turnover in the National Football League. You see it in every single team. You know, there's guys coming, there's guys going, and, you know, really you just have to adjust, and you have to, you know, work hard in training camp with the guys that are here and move forward.
You know what? I think somebody's got a chance to knock y'all off. That's right. I said it. I said it. I said it. Right. I said it. Guess what? I'm looking at it. We were in Florida Park, New Jersey yesterday. I know they don't have. I know it's quarterback questions. Buffalo, New York, to a lesser degree Miami. But I think how tough it might be in the AFC East might be a little bit tougher than you're accustomed to because of the dominance that y'all have displayed. Won the last 6 AFC East titles.
You know, there's always every Sunday is a tough football game. You know, every team in the league has tremendous football players. So, you know, to be a good football team, you have to practice well, you have to put in the time, you have to put in the effort, and, you know, I feel like we do that every year. You know, we put in the time, we put in the effort, we do the things that you need to do to win in this league. So, you know, again, this year's like no other year. You know, we're just going to come out here and we're going to work hard, and we're going to, you know, go out there and play good football.
But isn't it fair to say, Mr. Ninkovich, that it's really about the fact that you have Tom Brady? That's why y'all ain't worried. Isn't that fair to say?
You know, again, Tom is a tremendous quarterback. I love Tom as my quarterback, and you know, again, he's going to compete. He's going to do like he always does, and that's beat Tom and play at a high level.
Okay. Stephen A., this is the perfect New England Patriot. This is the perfect Belichick.
That's
all right.
You adapted to the Patriot way.
No. That's who he is.
Beautiful.
That's who he is. I'm not mad at him.
You can just pepper him with questions all day long, and he will continue.
Well, we're running out of time, so I can't. I wish I could, because I got some questions about that defense.
I'll be here all day. Come on now.
Got to take it game by game.
That's right.
He can do
one game at a time.
That's what happens when you're a Super Bowl champion.
Yes, congratulations again on that. And our tour is over, guys. Back in Bristol on Monday. I want to say happy birthday to our producer, Brian Bork. Thank you so much.
How old is he, 50?
Yeah.
Is he 50?
I think it's a milestone one. I think it's Dirty 30. Yep, I put you on blast. Sorry there. All right, back from Bristol, ESPN2 on Monday. Thank you to the Patriots, the Jets, the Bills for having us, our little AFC tour. And thanks you to both of you gentlemen for being wonderful as always. Have a great weekend.
Thank you for making it out here, man.
Thanks,
Appreciate
man.
it, man.
Thank
you so much.